Welcome back to more Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Last time we encountered the mysterious lifeform at the formidable oak, so this time we're going to rescue Olimar. I want to bring along 100 rock Pikmin for reasons I'll explain in a bit. For now, we have to find Olimar again. If you don't escape the cavern with him and have to leave him behind, he'll be returned to the entrance of the cavern at the start of the next day. So once again, we have to climb up here and retrieve him. Ah, Olimar! Phew, he's alright. That gold lifeform doesn't seem to be around. Let's use this chance to rescue him. The Pikmin don't seem to know which way to go. Okay then, it's time to relaunch Operation Rescue Olimar. In that case, I'll direct the Pikmin. Thanks, Brittany. You can get started on transporting Olimar back to the ship, Brittany. Alpha and I are going to search the immediate vicinity to see if we've overlooked anything, and then we'll catch up with you. Okay, here I go! Here it is again! Brittany, get Olimar out of here! I'm on it! Pikmin, follow me! Unlike last time, Brittany actually stays in this area, and we immediately switch over to her, allowing us to very easily make it to this shortcut. We want to swarm a few more Pikmin onto Olimar to carry him a little bit faster through here, and we'll quickly make our way to the exit. We actually set up everything last time, so it's a straight shot to the end. On the way there, there's actually something I forgot to mention about the mysterious lifeform. If it absorbs Olimar, not only are any Pikmin killed that are currently absorbed, it will also try to make an escape to the entrance. If you don't defeat it again before it makes it to the entrance, the day will automatically end, which would obviously be very bad because you'd lose any Pikmin who aren't in your active squad. But like with the first sighting of the mysterious lifeform, when it is solid, you can have the Pikmin attack it. So as it's trying to escape, you can basically attack it and get it to drop Olimar. That'll also stun it temporarily, which might actually work out to give you a little bit of time to set up some things in the future. Now that we're almost to the exit, I actually do really like the Formidable Oak now, though when I first played this I remember being very stressed out by it. But now that I know what I'm doing, it's actually a really fun challenge. Oh, Captain Olimar! The mysterious lifeform has returned to its initial state and reabsorbed Olimar. It is now the Plasm Wraith. Honestly, its behavior makes a lot more sense knowing its true name. I wanted to toss the two other captains over there so I don't accidentally charge or throw them while we're trying to fight the Plasm Wraith. This is a very unique enemy. As we attack it, it will basically break off parts of itself. Did it shrink a little? And you want to very quickly go and break the parts on the ground before it gets a chance to reabsorb them, like so. So overall the fight is relatively straightforward, but there are some unique gimmicks that make it a little bit stressful. I do highly recommend using Rock Pikmin for this, it just keeps getting smaller. It's not necessary, but its main attack will basically allow it to pick up and eat Pikmin, but similar to the Joust Mites, it actually doesn't work on Rock Pikmin. It's regenerating, are you kidding me? So yeah, we have to basically break off the segments and destroy them on the ground very quickly. But now we have a bit of a curveball. It'll spit out these little cubes that will take on elemental properties. So this one obviously is water elemental. We have to smash those before it reabsorbs them. In some cases, you can actually reach them with unintended types of Pikmin. The water one, unfortunately, we can't do anything about with Rock Pikmin, so we kind of just have to wait. If you're using Rock Pikmin, obviously there's less risk of actually losing Pikmin, but the fight itself will take a lot longer than if you have 20 of each type or so. There's one more attack we'll see later, but for now, it's basically this for the time being. The fire one, for example, is one we can actually break with Rock Pikmin. We have to be very careful, though, to avoid the Pikmin actually getting killed by the fire. We have another one there. That one should be electricity, so again, this one we can't do anything about, unfortunately. There should also be one for the Rock Pikmin as well, but we're not seeing it quite yet. The cubes are made up of a bunch of the Plasm Wraiths, like body, so basically we want to break those quickly in order to get through the fight a lot faster, and here's its final attack where it flies up and tries to pick off the Pikmin, similar to a flighty Joust Mite. And like a flighty Joust Mite, what you want to do is basically attack it with winged Pikmin to drag it out of the sky. But again, there's a lot of risk involved by using other types of Pikmin, so we're simply going to use the Rock Pikmin and take our time. Here's the Rock Pikmin one. You have this little crystal cube that'll move around trying to crush Pikmin. That should be our final data file, by the way. So we are good to go there. Overall, this fight isn't overly difficult. It is a nice little test of having different Pikmin types if you choose to fight it that way, but it also reminds me a lot of the final boss of Pikmin 2, the Titan Dweevil, in that you're supposed to use the corresponding element, but because of other hazards, it's simply safer to just stick with one type of Pikmin, so it kind of defeats the purpose of having all these different elements at play when, in some cases, you can basically do things in unintended ways. Like with the Titan Dweevil, because all of its weapons are so high up, you want to use yellow Pikmin because they reach a lot more easily, and because in 2, electricity is instant death. So it's a lot safer to just use yellow Pikmin for everything rather than swap types. Again, the series does have a big problem with trying to balance out types, and even with the final boss, it's not immune from having this slightly oddly balanced boss fight here. Again, I almost feel like for the fire one, for example, it should have been designed in such a way that other Pikmin could not reach it, period. Like with the electricity and water, though to be fair, as someone who likes fighting this with Rock Pikmin, I can't exactly complain because it does make it a lot more feasible. Its health is really low because it keeps spitting out parts of itself, but as soon as it reabsorbs, it'll probably go back to about a quarter health. So we just have to stay persistent, and again, we're trying to monitor the Pikmin very closely so they don't fall into the fire. The electricity is not a problem, but the water and fire definitely could be. Again, electricity has been nerfed, so it only stuns Pikmin temporarily, instead of actively killing them on the spot. Let's see what this next set is here. We got one crystal, which is great. We have 2 electricities, though, which we can't really do much about. But yeah, this is a clever fight. I just do feel like they could have set it up in such a way that it wasn't quite as easy to break with just Rock Pikmin. Again, it is very nice that they aren't harmed by that attack there, but again, it's almost surprising that they didn't think that through as much in terms of overall balancing. But now we should be at the last legs of the fight. 1 or 2 more of those cubes should be enough to whittle it down to the very final phase, which is not a problem whatsoever. So let's see what happens next. I'm not sure if I should charge now, maybe we should, except they'll start to fly. Again, this is like kind of annoying given that you simply have to wait, but again, it's safer in my opinion than risking winged Pikmin. 1 or 2 more cubes left, and let's see what we get here. We didn't get any of the rock Pikmin ones, sadly. I'm debating if I should try to go after the fire one, just to speed up the fight a little bit. We're kind of getting close to the end of the day, but we should still have plenty of time to get through this fight, no problem. So I think I'll actually play it safe here and avoid taking that risk. So we'll charge now is just trying to reabsorb, break off as much as we can, and there it starts to fly again. But yeah, having other types of Pikmin would make it a lot faster. You could get through this fight extremely quickly with all Pikmin types, but again, you'd probably lose a lot of Pikmin in the process of that. There can't be that many more cubes left. It's getting weaker. Focus on its body. That's actually great. We got 2 of the little cubes here, so we'll basically be able to break off or break up a lot of its body here if we can break through these really quickly. So now it doesn't stand a chance. Let's round up all our Pikmin, and once it's not in electricity, we'll make a final push in defeating it. Sadly, it started flying once more, but 1 more cycle should be enough, I hope.
Voilà. 네, Captain Olimar. 너는 누수했으면 스스로를. 야마카테스 이름부터 소화라기도. 나는 스스로를 스스. 미화테스테네 소호.
호텔 슈가 없더라.
어스파, 누가 너네 주변?
Второй Есть чувствую, как поехал на рынок Пекментора. 한물.
Captain Olimar. 쓰이, 드라이 왔더니? 이거 따뜻해, 땀땀을 따라? 영몸, 갑을 해? 또 요리니? 만따빠띠? 와이띠 만띠 끝에 뺐나? 네.
샤파. Pikmin. Urne berevi. Montek자. Pikmin. 부탁해. 좀.
나. 맞다, 또.
유교엔 스코디움은 속 메카노만 라.
알아. 너 여기 이렇게 좀 있어. 우주산.
카프레. 접쇼스 박지. 박지기가.
And so the intrepid explorers successfully complete their mission. After securing a bountiful supply of edible matter and learning the valuable lessons of planning and teamwork, the explorers are set to become the saviors of their home planet. Under their guidance, the seeds they've recovered will be used to kick off a sustainable cycle of cultivation and harvesting, thus bringing new life to Kopai. However, one question remains. what was the cause of the accident that sent the SS Drake hurtling to PNF 404 surface? Perhaps it wasn't an accident after all.
And with that, we've reached the end of Pikmin 3's main story. Obviously, there's still a lot to cover, including a few more things about the main story that we'll go over next time. But overall, Pikmin 3 is one of my favorite games for the Wii U. I think it's my favorite in the series overall, even though I actually do like Pikmin 1 and even 2 quite a bit as well. But I think overall, as a well-balanced game in terms of game design, like, even though I like 2, I admit a lot of it is very cheap. As the best overall game, I think Pikmin 3 takes the cake. I do have some issues with it though, mainly with the balancing like I've talked about before, and there's actually a specific problem in this version that is a recurring trend with Nintendo's ports and remasters in this generation. You might have noticed it said based on the work of Pikmin 3 or something like that, and that is a recurring problem of this generation, where to keep the credits the same length as the original, they basically just have a quick thank you to the original development staff and mostly credit the people who specifically worked on the port or remaster. This was specifically called out with Metroid Prime Remaster, but it has been the case for most of the Nintendo remasters for the Switch. Again, I'm not entirely sure why no one noticed it until Metroid Prime, but yeah, that definitely caused quite a stir. In general, between the two versions, I do like Deluxe a lot. I do like having added lock-on targets to make some things easier, as someone who likes to use the control stick method rather than motion controls for things. But I do feel like there is merit to both because of like having the ability to use the gamepad and look up at the screen and use both at the same time, rather than this where it's a separate menu basically. So in some ways the Wii version has some benefits, in other ways I like Deluxe more, so they kind of even out in the end. But overall, there's like no real bad way to play Pikmin 3. I just think it's a fantastic game from beginning to end, and I am very glad to say that we still have quite a bit of the game left. There was a lot of bonus content in Deluxe, and I'm very excited to go through it soon. But with that, the credits should be winding down, but obviously we have our final stats as well after the credits, so we'll wait for that. Ultra Spicy difficulty is now unlocked for story mode. You can now fight the Plasm Wraith in the Defeat Bosses mission. Olimar's comeback is now unlocked in side stories. And with that, we have our final stats. All fruits have been collected in 20 days and about 14 hours, which is about my average. Normally this game takes me about 20 to 21 days, so that went very well. We also raised over 1,100 Pikmin with 200 of each type, and of course we lost no Pikmin in the process. One thing I do want to quickly mention is the ending narration actually depends on how well you do. Basically, if you collect under half, over half, or all fruits, you will get slightly different ending text and a different voiceover. Basically, if you have fewer fruits collected, they'll say something like, that they need to ration everything out very carefully, but Kopai should still be okay, and basically increasing levels of confidence on our efforts actually helping Kopai. With all fruits collected, Kopai is definitely safe, so yeah, that is the best ending we possibly could get. Another fun detail is you can actually check rankings. You can connect to the internet to actually see rankings of everybody. I actually don't know if this will work, kind of like what we had with a Let's Play last year. This account doesn't have an online account, so this might not actually work. Global ranking data cannot be accessed. I was kind of afraid of that, but oh well. I feel like that's fairly average, maybe a little bit above average if I had to guess, to be honest, because the speedrun for this game is actually very fast, even for the all fruits categories. Using glitches and other techniques, it's actually very possible to beat Pikmin 3 in under 10 days even, and maybe like 10 or 11 days to collect everything if I recall correctly. So yeah, I think this is probably an above average time, but not overly exceptional. But we are far from done with this Let's Play, and I'm excited to go over some additional notes about the story mode next time. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Pikmin 3 Deluxe.